thinking of autism as a flaw, but it might be a feature.
Things start to feel alien-esque here is because of autism.
But there's something going on where more people are getting autism now than ever.
When autism and capitalism converged, things got really weird.
Eliminate empathy, eliminate emotions.
Autism-esque type of energy.
A lot of the people that are in the tech business at high levels are on the spectrum.
On the fucking diving board of the spectrum.
They're bringing in the next version of life.
Ordering bagels through our fucking brain cells and shit, you know? Like,
we're thinking it's like a mistake.
Is it what nature wants, or is it something that we're creating that is heading us down a very dark path?
What if one day it's not 1 in 12 in California, if it's 100%? You got a full spectrum society, and there's no regular people left.
I agree, right?
This is like an invasion.
I agree, right?
Like an invasion of a way that people think that's entering into human civilization.
So Theo Von was on JRE recently for another round of criminal-level gaslighting from Joe Rogan. Since they both enjoy being stupid and uninformed, it took less than 4 minutes for the podcast to go completely off the rails when they go on an anti-autism tirade, spewing lies and saying legitimately harmful, vile things about autism. In between the irrational fear of a transgender revolution and the usual JRE talking points about how vaccines are turning the frogs gay or whatever, these two weetards managed to blame autism for the problems in the world instead of that orange guy. And while Theo did at least try to bring up his very rational concerns about the current state of the world, Joe was ready to undermine and question Theo's sanity at every turn, to shut that shit down. The whole podcast was like watching the blind lead the very blind, but if the blind people were actually made up of a rock and a shoe. Take a look.
Only way we could get to this place, if we get to this data-driven place where it's like, you know, alien-esque, things start to feel alien-esque here, is because of autism leading. It's when autism mixes with, what's it called? Our society's based on money? Capitalism. When autism and capitalism converge, things got really weird.
Right, and think about it, right? We don't know exactly what is causing autism. They have a lot of suspicions. A lot of them have to do with vaccines and different medications and different chemicals and pollutants and all sorts of different things.
What a unique and interesting approach to take to immediately alienate listeners. That's what I'm seeing. Taking a stance against autism, a disability that individuals cannot help having and shouldn't be seen as a negative plague on society, is diabolical. That seems crazy to me and is so unacceptable. They're both acting like autism is a disease you can catch and should be fearful of. And at the very least, they are suggesting that being exposed to it is a negative, or that people who have autism are somehow bad or lesser than. And of course, the podcast wasn't 5 minutes in when Joe found his way to bring up the 100% debunked myth that vaccines cause autism. I mean, it has become pathological how often Joe Rogan brings up vaccines at this point. Pathological.
But one thing that we can all agree on, it's a big factor, is stuff that we've created. It's a big factor. Whatever it is. Let's not put the blame on any one of these industries, but there's something going on where more people are getting autism now than ever, and it seems almost positive that it's coming from us, that we did something. Human society. Well, if you think about where human society is going, wouldn't that be a way to turn us into something new? Right? If we were going to merge with machines, what better way than to like eliminate empathy, eliminate emotions, make us like able to like stay at home and stare at a screen for hours at a time with no concern whatsoever, just the kind of social detachment.
What makes more sense? That autism numbers are rising because we understand it better today, or because the powers that be want to turn us into robots. Considering the world is a pedophile cult, it's not impossible that Joe is right, but Occam's razor would suggest the most likely answer is the answer. Joe's rhetoric all stems from a foolish 12-person study on autism that was later fully retracted because the study falsified data and the author had their medical license revoked. A reasonable person should be able to understand that autism numbers are rising for many reasons, and all of them line up with the best evidence we have at this time. For example, autism rates are rising because of things like heightened awareness, improved screening methods, and better access to services. And when it comes to the link between autism and vaccines, the largest and best study was a 2015 study that included 95,000 children. 2,000 of these children were considered high risk for developing autism because their sibling had been diagnosed. Yet the study found that the MMR vaccine did not increase the risk for autism spectrum disorder. But Joe is married to his lie about vaccines, and he's never letting it go. Shamefully, he conflates having autism with having no emotion, which is a very ignorant thing to believe. He is literally proving why the term ableism exists and why people with disabilities need to be protected. Because he's basically saying that having autism means having no feelings, and this couldn't be further from the truth and couldn't be a more dangerous thing to say. He doesn't understand that processing emotions differently is not the same as having none at all. But because Joe is incapable of thinking outside of himself, he's convinced that individuals who experience emotions differently than him are lesser than him and broken in some way.
A lot of the people that are in the tech business at high levels are on the spectrum.
Oh, dude. Yeah. They're on the fucking diving board of the
spectrum.
And
they're the ones bringing in AI.
Yeah.
They're bringing in the next version of life. Kind of, I mean, almost like we're thinking it's like a mistake, but it might not be. It might be like a crucial part of the system when you get further and further integrated with technology and all the stuff that you need to make it and all the stuff that's involved in capitalism, including like lying about what medications kids needs and giving them this, giving them that, lying about what the pesticides do or the chemicals do or, whatever it is. What is that ultimately doing? If it's leading people to be on the spectrum more and more often, what if one day it's not 1 in 12 in California? If it's 100%, everybody, you got a full spectrum society, and there's no regular people left.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
You have to think about that. If it's 1 in 12 boys right now in California, and it used to be like 1 in 10,000, this is like an invasion.
Right.
Like an invasion of like a way that people think that's entering into human civilization.
Yeah. And I feel like it was, I agree, right? So then it's like those, and then if you don't have this like uprising, this emotional uprising out of people of like, like this is wrong. Cause I think like, when you get real data-based and like that kind of like TISM-esque type of energy, I think you're not thinking about some of the, like how it affects you as much, or maybe just you're able to like roll into that nest of like this is this new digital landscape and those people fit well in it. Does that make any sense?
It does. It does fit well, and they do fit well in it. I know a lot of people that are spectrum-y that are very happy just being online all the time.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
And dude, maybe that's what's supposed... Yeah, that's the scary part is like, what if that's what's supposed to happen?
Right.
And the rest of us are just like... Because I'm like, I think of romanticists, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, a porch and a rocking chair. And then, other people are like, yeah, we're coming in robots and shit like that and ordering bagels through our fucking brain cells and shit, like... It's just like...
We're thinking of autism as a flaw, but it might be a feature.
But is it what nature wants, or is it something that we're creating that is heading us down a very dark path? I feel like it's not autism, but all of it in conjunction is the second.
What autistic person hurt them because they are way too hostile towards autism? I get that it is getting scary how apathetic people are getting, but you can't blame a whole group for that. And I wonder how Elon Musk is going to feel about Joe's comments. Never mind. Autistic people can't feel. And it's so funny watching two rich guys not understand why people are more apathetic these days. Everyone is broke because of you greedy fucks, and everyone ever is a pedophile, and you bastards platformed monsters for starters. I could agree people are lacking emotionally, but instead of raising awareness and trying to understand why, they wrongly blame a disability. Joe and Theo say they want more empathy, but are willing to offer none. They legit run from poor people. What is stopping them from volunteering or donating to causes that help vulnerable and apathetic people? Why not try to help youth who are high risk if you care so much? Because at the end of the day, they just want to say they want empathy, but their actions show otherwise. And where is the empathy when it comes to their behavior? Spewing hatred towards transgender people is not empathy. Calling those who give valid criticism mentally disturbed is not empathy. Platforming pedophile apologists is not empathy. Spamming people with too many ads is not empathy. And hawking nicotine and gambling to your young fans is definitely not empathy. I find it truly baffling that Joe Rogan can fight so passionately about autism, yet cannot find the passion to stand up against the sex trafficking of children. And in case we're keeping score, some notable people with autism include Thomas Jefferson, Mozart, Robin Williams, Anthony Hopkins, Sir Isaac Newton, Tim Burton, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and Eminem. And then there's stupid Joe. God only knows what diagnosis he has, which ironically he will never know about because he doesn't believe in medical science. At this point, I think there's really no topic Joe can discuss without it becoming an opportunity for him to speak crazy and chip away at his already crumbling reputation with hate-filled ignorant rants. Everything he says now is boomer nonsense, and shame on both him and Theo for contributing to hateful, bigoted rhetoric about autism. I don't know about you, but if the choice was get rid of all autistic people or get rid of Joe Rogan and people like him, the comedy mothership would be the first to go. And if the choice is, who would you rather hang out with? For me, the choice is obvious.
When we get married, we can have a big bowl of candy on our table.
I can't think of anything to say, but I'm still having a good time.
Me too.
Do you think of anything else to say?
No.
That's okay.
Not just for intercourse, but also as a bodyguard and as a sugar daddy.
I'll tell you the things I don't like. I don't like skunks.
The Hershey's,
I don't like porcupines.
the M&M,
I like hyenas.
the Reese's,
I don't like bugs.
Even gummies.
I don't like spiders.
and gummies, and Oreo cookies.
And Chips Ahoy's.
Don't tell my mom, but I like her.
I like lions, tigers, and gorillas, and bears, and cows, and horses, and pigs, and chickens, and ducks, and goats, and sheep.
All right. If copper feel I must, then copper feel I What is that? I don't know. Wait, what is that?
No, finish it.
Then copper feel I shall. Sweet.
All right.
No idea what that means, though.
Copperfield means grab a girl's boob.
Oh my God!
What kind of person are you?
I'm polite, I have a good personality, and I'm a kind young man, and I spread joy all around the world.
What do you think about Theo and Joe's opinions on autism? Are they just ignorant, or is it more sinister? Let me know in the comments and subscribe if you're interested in random and not very nuanced Joe Rogan hate.